Tom Blomqvist on the pole, the TQ man and a previous winner. Next to him, another previous winner, Shane van Gisbergen. And then it's Sivert Svardal, Orhan Avjolu, and Kevin Hansen on the outside. Kevin will want to get through to the final if he can. He will support his brother in that final, and by that I mean support him tactically. They will race fair, as they try to in real life as well. I know, depending on who you support, there's always going to be hard feelings in motorsport. We got a bit of a Senna and Prost situation with Baccarat and Hansen, but it's great for us as fans and as viewers when you've got people that are so passionate about the sport racing against each other so hard. Van Gisbergen on the right and Blomqvist, they're the ones you need to watch. Better start by Van Gisbergen. Get to edge Blomqvist surely down to turn one. Kevin Hansen out on the wide side of the grid. Sideways in for Van Gisbergen, gets a little bit too deep. And Blomqvist gets back up underneath him. So Blomqvist making a pass for the lead. It's Blomqvist, Van Gisbergen, and Kevin Hansen in the dust. He's in P3, so the two cars are identical. The first one is Van Gisbergen, the second Kevin Hansen. Kevin, though, getting mugged slightly from behind. A little bit of contact there. And I think he's been spun round to the inside. Kevin Hansen was spun round to the inside. The chicane, he's gone. So Kevin Hansen's gone even earlier than he went in real life in the final last year in Cape Town. He's gone.
Effect between Orhan Avjolu and Sivert Svardal as a kind of cannon, and at the end of that cannon was Kevin Hansen being fired into the tyres, unfortunately.
So Tom Blomqvist with a great start with Shane van Gisbergen right behind, and the carnage behind for Svardal, Avjolu and Kevin Hansen means that none of those guys, I think, are going to feature potentially, Neil, as the fastest loser, because you'd have to fancy that the other semi-final will have a quicker loser than this one with the carnage they had on lap one.
And if Shane van Gisbergen does have a spotter, that was very smart to send him into the Joker, because there was a clear gap that he could slot into so that he could not be caught in Tom Blomqvist's dust, but get out ahead of the trailing pack behind.
You're looking at Orhan Avjolu with Kevin Hansen all over his back bumper. Kevin, I don't think he's going to be able to follow. Even if he finds a way past, he'd have to be fastest loser in third unless there's an absolute disaster out front. Van Gisbergen has jokered, another spin for Kevin. Kevin Hansen definitely gone. Van Gisbergen is 3.1 seconds off the back of Blomqvist. So it's Shane van Gisbergen who is hunting down Tom Blomqvist. Blomqvist has gone joker. So Blomqvist has gone joker and he's going to come out in front. He is in front of Shane van Gisbergen. So Blomqvist jokers in response to Van Gisbergen. Van Gisbergen went early. Blomqvist responded immediately to cover him off. And now, Neil, they've got to fight on track for another 2 laps.
Yeah, very smart. I mean, because it's not about time, because it's about position, they're safely the top 2. So really, the gears can kind of relax a little bit and follow Tom round. But, you know, Tom has clattered the wall there. So, you know, they're not taking it easy, these two. They're still pushing.
They are indeed. We're hearing that Sivert Svardal is under investigation. That will be for the start of this race, we think.
I'm pretty sure it'll be the contact with Orhan that put him into Kevin Hansen. Is how I read that, because that was sort of a domino effect.
And of course, he is currently, Neil, going to be of these, he would be the guy who potentially would be fastest loser from semi-final number 1. So again, 2 from each semi going through, and then the fastest loser. Sivert Svardal, not only has he been held up by that contact that he was involved in, but now the stewards are investigating as well. So if he gets a penalty on top of the lost time in the race, it definitely won't be Svardal who is the fastest loser. Very fast in real life, was crowned European Rallycross champion for touring car, 2-litre rear-wheel drive cars. Unfortunately, a tiny fuel irregularity meant that he lost that title, having been given it, you know, literally a couple of hours before. It's absolutely gutting as a driver. I think, as far as I'm aware, wasn't anything that was too suspicious about it either. You know, it was unlucky. No such problems for Tom Blomqvist. Going to take semi-final number 1. Crosses the line for the win. Shane van Gisbergen going through as well. So that's 2 of our previous winners making it through to the final here at Cape Town. Svardal gets third, but he's under investigation. You're on board with Orhan Avjolu and Kevin Hansen in the background as well. They'll both make it to the line, but it's going to depend what the stewards say as to whether either of them is in line for fastest loser. And I'm afraid with the problems they've had in semi-1, highly unlikely. So Blomqvist and Van Gisbergen are the first 2 pro drivers to qualify for the final. Five-second penalties for Svardal and Avjolu, but I don't think that's going to be, it's not enough. It would put Kevin up into P4, But it's still, the thing is, even if Kevin ended up in P3, they can't adjust Kevin's time. So I say we're having investigations done for those two. But I think basically the fastest loser now is definitely going to come from semi-final number 2. This one has Timmy Hansen, the championship leader, the World Rallycross champion in real life on the inside. He won the Race of Champions a couple of weekends ago. He leads this series. What can we see a third crown for Timmy before we get racing underway in real life in 2020? Jonathan Pye was the winner last time out in Sweden. There's David Perrell in the middle of the grid and Jordan Pepper representing South Africa racing at home, and Marius Bermengrid on the outside.
It's great to see a couple of our rookies doing well, getting straight through to the semis, because it's not easy. And representing South Africa, Jordan and David are doing extremely well to put it in the semi-final, considering some of the names that have gone out.
And I think highly likely now, Neil, that we're going to see one of them in the final, which is great for our South African fans. And I know we're on TV down in South Africa, so hello if you're watching down there. Hopefully you're going to see a South African in the final. Now what you need to do is persuade them in real life to take part in World Rallycross, because we will be back to Cape Town, as I say. Unfortunately, we're not coming this year thanks to the COVID. But if we could get one of those guys in a real-life rallycross car next time we're down there, I'm sure that would set the fans off while they're having a braai. We could have a good old party down in Cape Town. I'd be well up for that.
Definitely. Interestingly, we will probably now see, almost definitely see Kevin off the overall championship podium. So Shane van Gisbergen looks like he's in the hot seat to take third in the World Rallycross Esports Series overall. But Timmy Hansen versus Tom Blomqvist is the real question now. So Tom was quick in that last heat in the semi-final. 33 point, just in the low 33s is a very fast lap time. In the 32s, I've seen Tom go before. I wonder what Timmy's quickest time. We've not seen what Timmy's actual quickest personal PB is. But Timmy has got pole position in the semi-final 2 and a chance to really stretch his legs and seal his position on the front row. Again, it's all in the line, but you know what I mean. Best position for the final coming up very soon.
We have got a couple of messages come in. So 5-second penalties, as you saw, confirmed for Svardal and Avjulu for the contact in turn 3 and 4. Johan Kristoffersson apparently is watching. Hello, Johan. We saw Johan last weekend. It was very much world champion, back on form. Pouring rain up at Hollius. He wasn't even in this year's car, and he was absolutely bang on the pace. I think it's quite ominous for the other drivers in the world championship, but it makes me very excited indeed to get back to work. We saw Niklas Gronholm and Marcus Gronholm, of course, using the same car. Marcus went quicker than Niklas on day one. Have a look for that on social media if you haven't seen it already. It was my favourite moment of the weekend. I said the words, he's gutted, and he was. His dad beat him. So the real-life World Rallycross Championship, hopefully getting underway towards the tail end of August. Head to the FIA World Rallycross Championships website. Of course, all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, if you want to keep up to date. Maybe we've got some people watching this who don't normally watch real-life Rallycross. You need to watch real-life Rallycross. It's the one motorsport where I would argue that the real-life racing is sometimes even more outrageous than the game. Neil?
I'm just noticing that we may well already have something. Tom Blomqvist has taken the lead in the championship over Timmy Hansen by 1 point. So Timmy really does have to pull it out of the bag, have a really clean and safe semi-final.
I can't see how those points are correct, Neil. If they qualified first and second, we're doing live points. Sorry, we're just waiting on getting things together. So as far they were 1 point apart, weren't they, in qualifying? Blomqvist taking the TQ from Timmy, so that would put them on. They were 5 points apart. Sorry, coming into this. Maybe
Timmy that's with the
semi?
semi-final win from Tom. Maybe that's already counting Tom's.
Yeah, but Timmy's gone through as well. So 6-5-4. Where did Timmy go through? Did he take the win or was he second? Look at me and Neil frantically adding up for you live on air.
No, we haven't had that race yet. We haven't had semi 2 yet. So
of course, I'm with you. So that's why. Tom. I've got you. Yeah. So So without the second semi-final at the minute, Blomqvist leads. But true. So if Timmy doesn't make it through, he's had a shocker because Blomqvist has, and that does add some pressure, Neil. Yeah. So that's championship points update in between semi-finals has blown my mind. And has never happened
it's the
before.
Future, Coley.
I can't cope with an update in between semi-finals. I'm like, well, do you remember we used to have a predictor that happened with one race to go at the end of a session, and it was impossible to explain. But there we go. We ditched it in the end. So we're nearly ready to go racing. Apologies, just a little issue with some connections. Just a man frantically plugging things in and out. It's actually much more complicated than that. It's nowhere near as manual.
Shame for
and we'll be ready for
Kevin
semi-final
Hansen.
2.
It's a shame for Kevin Hansen in that last race because it was completely beyond his control, the way that he was sort of forced out of contention in semi-final 1. And you can see when we had the conversation with Timmy, he was next to him in the sim. So now he can just put all of his efforts into helping his bro win this.
So Timmy Hansen needing to go through. As Neil pointed out, we've had an update on points after semi-1. With Blomqvist through and with the win, he was 5 points behind. At this point, he would be 1 point in front. Now, if Hansen came last in this semi-final, I think it would be 2 points. So, in fact, that would put him 1 point in front. But Blomqvist would still have another race to go. Got an issue there at the start, so I'm afraid we've maybe got a problem here. Okay, not quite sure. But Timmy Hansen on the inside. You're on board with him as we run down towards turn 1. You heard the blip of the start lights changing, but the drivers obviously didn't see that their end. So I say the guys are working hard to get all our glitches sorted at the minute. Timmy Hansen leading from Jonathan Paye. Paye, the winner last time out in Sweden. In the background, David Perel and Jordan Pepper. So it's Marius Bermingrud that's at the back of the pack. Neil, if Perel or Pepper finishes in P3, it will be a South African that goes through as the fastest loser, which would be great.
Yeah, amazing and impressive, but done purely on talent. It's not been a series of attritional races. They've got there on merit.
So a few more messages coming through. We're hearing that Kylian Delormeau will be the champion. So trying to figure out if there's been a penalty for his brother or not. We'll get an update for you from race control on that. What the penalty is going to be from the esports side of things. Meanwhile, David Perel is in the standard lap. Bermingrud has gone joker already. There are 2 green Peugeots. There he's in the background, Bermingrud. I think Pepper's going to get him. So Jordan Pepper's going to come out in front of Bermingrud, and those 2 have jokered. So David Perel, I wonder if he might respond to Pepper's joker lap. Timmy Hansen, Paye's going with him. Look, Jonathan Paye is looking quick. Neil, Timmy could potentially win this championship without taking a win. It would be rather nice if he rounded the season out with a win.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? He could get through to the final already, technically, mathematically on points, far enough ahead to win. But he's under pressure. He'll have that if he's got virtual mirrors. He'll be able to see Jonathan Paye in his rearview mirror, but also he'll have that annoying kind of chevron white arrow flicking around the screen, showing him that everywhere he goes, he's got a rival that is matching him within a second of his time.
Kevin Hansen, look, you can see in the background of Timmy, absolutely watching like a hawk. If he can give him any information, he will. At the minute, you can see there's not a lot being said to Timmy. No tactics needed other than just keep it clean. Paye gone joker around the outside. So Jonathan Paye is in the joker lap now. I think he's going to come out in front of David Perel. He does.
Yep.
So 2 laps to go, Paye and Perel. Perel's looking quick. I'm impressed with the South Africans very much. This is not an easy game to get on top of that quickly. And David Perel actually closing down on Paye. Paye a little bit deep on the brakes into turn 1. And David Perel is right there with him.
Yeah, we spoke to David Perel earlier, didn't we? And he's an absolute master on a sim. So it would have taken him maybe half a day to dial in exactly how to get this game right. But it's no slouch, and look, he is right on the rear bumper of Jonathan Paye, who's a massively experienced French rallycross driver and, as you say, event winner in this series. Timmy Hansen.
Apologies, technical issue my end. So yeah, if Perel can get past here, he's guaranteed a place in the final, but he doesn't really need to, Neil, because we know this is going to be quicker than semi-final number 1. Timmy Hansen comes out from the joker lap, going to go through to take the win. The championship leader is through to the final safely. Jonathan Paye and David Perel. And Perel's so much faster, I think, than semi-1 that I'm pretty sure it will be him that goes through. Over the line, Pepper tags the wall, so it's Timmy Hansen and Jonathan Paye guaranteed a place. David Perel with a 3:31.0 looking favourite to go through as well.